Jeskai Tempo. This is a deck that we had played once before and was a lot of fun. In a way, it feels like Featherless Feather a little bit, but something that's different from the Feather deck that this gets to do nicely is, instead of Feather Redeemed providing your card advantage, this deck is leveraging card advantage from Staggering Insight and Curious Obsession here, which, just like all of our threats we get to play, Lurrus is capable of recasting from the graveyard. Now, while the core of this deck is currently standard legal, in addition to gaining Curious Obsession and Historic, we also gain Reckless Rage as a really powerful removal spell. I think especially with Naya Winota in the format, this is easily the best 1-mana removal spell in Historic at the moment. We've got Adanto Vanguard here, which is a great threat for pressuring control decks, and super importantly, we get Buddy Lands in this format, so the mana base in this archetype is much better here than it would be in Standard. Featherless Feather, so Jeskai Penguin. That's such a good name. I should probably call this can I call this Jeskai Penguin? That's probably going to confuse people. Okay, I need someone to actually Are penguins actually featherless birds? Do they technically have feathers, or are they actually considered featherless? Not featherless. Okay. Penguins have feathers, they just can't fly. Alright. Alright. They have feathers, they just can't fly. I take back my perfect name sentiment. They're very, very tiny water-resistant feathers. There you go. Alright, let's dive on into a set with this. This is our second time playing this archetype in Historic. If it has another good run here, I think I'm going to throw it up on the website. Usually I wait for Historic decks to have 2 good runs, see if Lightning strikes twice, before I take the effort to throw in a page up there and commissioning artwork for it. Icy Ice, MTG, thanks for the quarter of a year. Easy mulligan. This is close. I feel like I'm supposed to mulligan. I think this is actually the best of the hands that we've looked at, for sure. According to Google, all birds have feathers. Why would Google lie to a person? Do we have any reason not to believe Google? It has so little to gain, chat. Get to start unmulliganing here a little bit. Google has no motive to lie. Oh no! Oh no! Chat, I'm in danger, chat. I'm in danger. Oh no. Oh no. Opponent also playing a Historic deck that's on my website. Storm Herald here. If they don't get a second creature into play, we can Reckless Rage Storm Herald in response. 7 Fet, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. If they have a second creature, though, like this, we're going to have a hard time. Yeah, the Jund Storm Herald deck is very good. The Jund Storm Herald deck is very, very good. There is a non-zero chance we could die this turn if they high roll. They did not high roll. Life's Bounty can only target a creature or enchantment you control. I agree. The combo decks in Historic largely feel like they're in a good spot. Fairly competitive without being overbearing. Oh, gosh. They just gave us gas for Lurrus. That's sick. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. Okay, we're up to 25 here. They've been pretty unfortunate on their mills so far. So the opponent's deck, for people that haven't seen it, it's focused around this card, Storm Herald here, and then putting a bunch of enchant creatures on it and killing you. So my opponent is trying to mill enchant creatures into their bin here. And they've not been very fortunate. They play like Ancestral Mask and Citizen Training and usually Progenitus Growth. It's impressive how many people don't read Magic cards fully and think cards like God's Willing and Life's Bounty can target my opponent's creatures. Just for reference, God's Willing and Life's Bounty do not impact what my opponent is doing at all. Just so people understand. Can I kill them next turn? I think I can kill them next turn, right? So if I play this makes this a 4. And then this is a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Usually they don't have interaction game 1, so I'm not going to play around anything here. I've sure as hell never read a Magic card. I'm not about to start at this point. At least a little bit. It's refreshing to hear the honesty, really. You can't make me read, Dad. Alright, so we got some graveyard hate in our sideboard here. Both Soul Lantern and Apostle of Purifying Light are great. Light of Hope is a 1-mana card that can help us out in a pinch here as well. What are we trimming is a question. My opponent's deck could have a little bit of interaction post-board. I think I trimmed some Vitus ones. It's probably the cut. It could be right to trim some of my threats, too. Since I'm bringing in these, so, like, keeping my creature count at about 18 sounds fine. I don't expect them to have that much removal, though. Yeah. This hand is more than good. It's great. Now, the downside to this hand, this hand here that we have is an example of a very good linear draw for us. It is, however, not an interactive draw. So if my opponent also has a good linear draw, they're very likely going to run us down. The opponent's archetype is definitely the better linear deck in this matchup. However, I also think that it's pretty likely that their deck slows down post-board. Would I rather play Dorat or would I rather play Purifying Light? Getting this down has a lot of appeal. So reasoning behind Justice Strike over Red Cat Melee. I already have a bunch of 1-mana removal spells in Reckless Rage, and Justice Strike's just more flexible. They can come in more spots. Oh, that's a good draw. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Gives us lifelink, making it hard to race in addition to drawing cards. I'm electing not to play Curious Obsession here because they flipped over a red cat melee earlier. So I'd like to leave this up to protect my Purifying Light. Because I don't think they can win this game if I protect this. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Their thing gets bigger for my enchantments, chat! Oh no! Oh! Oh, Ancestral Mass counts all enchantments in play. Yikes! Yikes! That's terrifying. Are we dead to another mask? I think we're dead to another mask. Is a big chunk. Alright, so I can Dorat, God's Willing, the Adanto Vanguard, hit them for 7, 8, 9. So I'm too short there. I think we start by just attacking with the Apostle here and see where we go. Alec Bick, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I don't have enough white mana to Lurrus and God's Willing in the same turn. How does Trample work with Protection? Yeah, they only have to assign damage equal to... They have to assign damage equal to my creature's toughness. Dorat. Oh, yeah, I sequence strong. Dorat should be one bigger. It's a good thing to point out. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Okay, I mean, if they have 0 interaction, they're dead next turn, right? We go like second Dorat, attack for 7. Okay, so now we need a way to get past this. That's lethal, right? Every bit of the buffalo, chat. Every bit of the buffalo. Well, they didn't miss lethal. Because I had the lantern in play, if my opponent had played their 3-2 pre-combat, I just exile their graveyard. So they don't get to make their thing bigger. Good games, Noxin. Good luck in the rest of your constructed event. It was a close set. Yep, sign me up. So this is something you'll see me do with these decks that have combat tricks in them fairly often. So even though I could have played a land that didn't hurt me there, I elected to play the Shock Land out on 2. So this way I can play a 2-drop and hold up a combat trick on 3 without it being incredibly obvious that that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not playing Jeskai Luca in Standard, but we played the Jeskai Tempo deck in Standard, and it's just not good enough. The mana base isn't consistent enough, your threats aren't good enough against control, not having Adanto Vanguard's a really big deal. The power level simply isn't there. Could go either way on this. Think I'm bottoming it. Reckless rage. Some things die while others feel the pain. Reckless rage. Do 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 do. Thunk 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 thunk. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Get a couple of Justice Strikes, a couple of Aether Gusts. I'm gonna trim Siren Stormtamer because it gets chewed up by Goblin Chain Whirler. I think 16's the floor on threats. I don't think I can board lower than that on In Good Conscience. I think it's probably right to trim a couple Curious Obsession. This card gets 2 for 1. Occasionally, you have to play from behind. Oh, you know what? Light of Hope's probably good here. Better than Obsession, I think. It can destroy Experimental Frenzy in a pinch if they're playing that. Gaining 4 life is randomly good. Putting 1/1 counters on your things, also not irrelevant a lot of the time. Yes, Fight is 1 is my favorite constructed playable combat trick in a long time. I think God's Willing is still good, even in the face of potential stomps. I think it's something you need to be conscious of and will occasionally get blown out at, but I think God's Willing is still a pretty key card here. I think this archetype's too slow and fair for Modern, for someone that asked. I think you could probably port it to Pioneer, but I think it's too slow and fair for Modern. Is this a keep? So, like, the thing that puts me over the edge on wanting to mulligan this is, like, not only Adanto Vanguard is it kind of slow on the draw, but all my lands deal damage to me. So, like, if I'm keeping this hand, I'm realistically starting at, like, 16 life or so. And I think this hand's not good enough to be worth keeping at 7 on that low of a life total. I think if my lands didn't deal damage to me with that hand, I would keep it. But I think because they do, we try again. This hand's much better. Chaos Magic Chuck, thanks for the entire year support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. No one drops from the opponent's been real good for us. I think with the bounty draw. Let me play that on one. Man, that's unfortunate. Leads to a format where every aggressive deck pleases companion. No, I think that's nonsense. I think there's plenty of room for aggressive decks without companions. To give yourself protection further. I'm going to give you a 10-minute timeout to read the card you're asking me a question about. I think I'm in for that, right? Because I want a Lurrus plus, I want a Lurrus plus do a thing next turn, I think. Should we have paid because of lifelink? So it would have been paying 2 life? I think I'd rather sack my thing than pay 2 life there. That's close though. I'm going to give you a timeout for telling me I made a misplay when you didn't understand what the board state was. I frequently make mistakes, but if you're going to tell me I made one, at least be paying attention to the board. Not only was it after blocked, but my Adanto Vanguard was tapped. You think I just attack and gain 4 here? Well, they definitely should have blocked and paid 4, so that way I didn't draw a card, but we'll take a freebie. Hello, youngest son. How you doing? How you doing? I appreciate you putting pants on before coming down.
That's why I was cold up there.
Oh, you were cold, so you put pants on? Figuring that out makes you smarter than a significant part of Twitch chat, just so you're aware. How many cards do I have out? We have a lot, but I think there's about to be a lot less. So this is going to hit us for 8, 9, 10, 11.
So now we're going to have 2.
So if I put Light of Hope on here, I gain 4, right? If I put a counter on here, I gain 4. So I live, right? I'm taking 8, 9, 10, 11. So if I put a 1/1 counter on here, I go to 1, right?
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. What happened?
They're putting a sword on their vampire, and I'm putting a counter on my cat. Look how many eyes this cat has. It's a lot of eyes.
Wait, we only have 2 cards on the field?
I do only have 2 cards in the field. I have 3. Staggering Insight's kind of a card. All right, what are we doing? So,
this card, win card.
This is the win card? No, that is not an win card.
Sam, win card. Sam, go away. Sam.
How do we not die? Both can we not die, or could we kill them? Them having my Adanto Vanguard, so we couldn't Reckless Rage their sword target there, was really brutal. Alright, fair warning, I'm just timing people out from here on out that don't understand the text box on this card. Stop suggesting lines, people! Stop it!
Okay, what's it? It's almost there, Steve.
Alright, I think we gotta kill this and then attack them for 8 and hope to draw something live here. Is basically the plan.
Well, you didn't even...
Oh, I can 10th District Legionnaire. I didn't think about that. This is only 8, 9, 10 still.
Uh-oh. 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 How do you do that? How do you do that if we got all the way to the end?
So we go up to 9 here.
Which one's our guy?
So untapped land here lets me go land drop, 10th District Legionnaire, Staggering Insight on it.
Too bad don't have a guy on that side. We do.
Okay, so if they brick here, we're actually in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a brick, right? Yeah, sick. That was a sweet game of Magic.
I won.
We won! We won! You're so lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. All right, what cards do we want on the banner of this deck for my website? Because we're definitely putting it up there. 10th District, Dorat, and Staggering Insight.
What do you want to say?
Is it these 3? I think it's these 3. Insight, 10th District, Perfect Pet.
You want those cards or wait make a different one like these.
Message my art guy really quick, because maybe he'll have it to me by the end of the day then.
The art guy. Do you have that guy? That cat?
Yep, these are all my magic cards in this deck.
Now what are you gonna do after this?
We're gonna do another battle. Finding someone else to duel.
Duel?
Duel!
I guess you're playing a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
You can duel in Magic too. You know, I put the Yu-Gi-Oh game on your new phone too.
I know.
You can play that on there.
But no. Only on the tablet works.
It works on your phone too. You can also play it on the tablet if you prefer. All right, by new phone. So we've been playing Pokemon Go as a family, and Declan had been playing Pokemon Go on a cell phone older than him, so it ran like glacially slow. So I bought myself a new phone and gave him my old phone. So the almost 5-year-old does not in fact have a brand new phone. I have a brand new phone, and he has my old one. He now has a phone that's newer than him. Looks like probably Yarok Field. That's what there's an Obosh on Yarok Field on my website. Not fair, give him the new one. Listen, life's not fair, okay? Oh, should have played the White Source so I could technically hold up fight as one, huh?
Ding ding. Ding ding.
You need to go eat some real food if you want those.
Why didn't I ask for stone?
Well, you can eat something healthy, and then you can have brownies after. There's still bananas up there.
No.
I bet if you eat a banana, your mom would let you have some brownies.
No.
Close the door.
I told you.
Oh, you closed the door.
Hey, Daddy.
Revolving door of awesome kids.
Help me, play Minecraft, please. Help me.
I can't play the Minecraft video game right now. I can help you with it tonight, though, bud.
Help me. Help me now. Help me now.
Help you now? I can't help you right now. I love you.
Aww.
Did you ask Declan to help you?
No. Whip up. I can't do it by myself.
You can do it. You're a big smart kid.
With one. With button. With
Can you please tell me why sacrificing Life's Bounty to give Vanguard
Daddy.
action for red would ever not work?
With button. With button. Me Baba Toba TV off. With button Toba TV off.
Or are you trying to watch the Minecraft show on the TV?
No. Wait for my play game.
Hey, Vestica, thanks for the 12 months. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. This game feels like it's closing up on us here. I didn't have a particularly aggressive draw. We had a really tricky draw, and they weren't a particularly interactive deck. There's a blast zone down here, too. Feels like this one slipped away from us. Yeah, we need perfect pet's definitely our best draw in this matchup. And even like a 10th District Legionnaire early would have been enough. I feel like we're just gonna be too slow at this point. Yeah, we didn't have a way to like rage through the Memorial Grazer either. Alright, so this is the matchup where a bunch of Disdainful Strokes are in our sideboard. I actually think Reckless Rage is not very good in this matchup. They have some smaller things like Grazer that it kills, but for the most part, we want to just stop their big over-the-top plays. Do I want Aether Gust in my deck too here? I feel like the answer to that question is yes. Strike kills Yarak, but I don't think that's good enough. I think I'd rather just have counter spells. Oh, that's true actually. Yeah, they're probably gonna board out Reef if they've been following my sideboarding advice with the Yarak deck. Gosh, this hand's so good. If just like either of these lands had land types, I think I have to mulligan that. This hand's also super reasonable. We're gonna keep it. Bottom. The bottom Aether Gust here. These Curious Obsessions should draw us other disruption. Grazer on 1 again, but we'll have Vanguard that can attack through it, so we've got that going for us at least. If they have Disfigure, our hand's going to be in a little bit of trouble. We have Lurrus to recover at least. You playing Obosh? I am. Let me Pikachu. As always, you can find my latest deck list for things that I maintain up on my website. Maybe I'm not supposed to hold up Disdainful Stroke here because they don't currently have double black and they can't have triple green. I can, however, stroke a Yarak if they play it this turn. The URL is S tier, it really is. It really is. Yeah, I don't know that I really care about Obosh though. Charizard is the thing, so I don't know that holding up Stroke is right. Like, there's a good chance we just like didn't care if this happened last turn. All right, and now the hope is this happens, and then we get to Staggering Insight, and then we draw in our 4 card draws next turn. We pick up another piece of disruption. Is the hope here? Yeah, we successfully dodged Disfigure, so that's nice. Looking for another Stroke or an Aether Gust here. Well. How did Elementals go? It was really good until we ran into a good deck. So exactly what we expected. Yes, it went exactly according to expectations. Is accurate. What about Knights? Knights was fine. So the goal here is that Life's Bounty plus Lurrus plus God's Willing can let us punch through here. Is the hope. And now we only need protection for black, right? Because they attack with Cavalier. And Blast Zone's not too rough, especially with the second Staggering Insight here. Yeah, I feel like the Cavalier attack was wrong. And then I assume they'll Blast Zone for 0 to deny us the 2 cards from the Curious Obsession. But, like, I'm still hitting them for 5 and drawing 2 cards and gaining some life, right? Alright, so what are we recasting with Lurrus here? It's probably just the Life's Bounty, right? It's really unfortunate we haven't managed to draw another land here, because I would like more mana to work with since we have all these cards. And mana's our bottleneck at the moment. So, if they like Obosh here and push, we can go block Yarok, block Cavalier, give this protection. Yarok doesn't deal any damage. I assume we're going to see, yeah, Uro get escaped here. I live in Central Cornfield time. Yeah, this one's slipping away even with all of our lifelink. The fact that my threats this game didn't grow as I targeted them was a big deal. If I'd have had a 10th District Legionnaire as one of my first threats, that would have been much better. Yeah, if this had been Legionnaire or Perfect Pet, we'd be in such a good spot. Yeah, we're very dead. The fact that we didn't have a Miracle Grow threat as our first one made it real rough. Good games, Icy Ice. Icy Ice is a sub in here. We've run into them a couple of times playing Yarok Field. Yeah, the fact that we just like our first threat didn't grow up there was rough. We'd have been able to race them with protection, I think, if we'd have had a threat that grew as we were casting spells on it, but the fact that we only ever had 3 power was rough. So, according to the Twitter sphere, the next regional Pro Tour is going to be on Magic Arena. Bon Gripper, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That sounds great. It'll be interesting to see if that comes true. mean, they can't reasonably have an in-person tournament anytime soon, so. Tournament mode, let's go. I assume it's gonna be run via a third-party website like Melee. A really funny comment surrounding the potential of the event being on Magic Arena is that people who qualified for the RPT via Magic Online might not have a computer that can run Magic Arena, which is a fair assessment. I think Historic will receive competitive support. I hope so. Okay, so Blast Zone can kill Iliad and Curious Obsession here. Be interested to see if they do. Oh, they cranked it up to 2. That makes a lot of sense. Land plus... Yeah! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about! That's what I'm talking about! This is my favorite card, chat. Favorite card. Right there. That one. That one right there. That one right there. I like the way you do that right there. I like the way you do that right there. Alright, I don't really know what they're doing. They're like Yorion and blue-green, so I'm going to bring in Gust and Stroke, I think. I'm going to cut Reckless Rage and a couple of God's Willing. What did I just listen to? Don't you judge me. That probably doesn't even make top 10 for worst things I've parodied on this stream. Come on now. I don't think they misclicked blowing up the Blast Zone there. I think they intentionally clicked it up to 2. It's pretty hard to misclick blowing up. It's pretty hard to misclick intending to blow up Blast Zone and like putting counters on it, 'cause you have to pay X as well. I would love a land drop. Thank you. Appreciate you, opponent. Yeah, it's easy to misclick blowing it up when you intended to put counters on it. It's not easy to misclick the other way. Alright, 1 untapped white source, please. I think Historic should have a separate ranked queue from Standard. No, I think having all constructed be the same ranked queue is fine. Just like all of Limited is the same ranked queue. I think that's more than reasonable. Hey. Izio, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Oh, they're also just Yarok Field, but they're playing Yorion. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so what's the plan here? Need to get set up so we can push through their blockers. So Lurrus with Life's Bounty. Oh, I forgot that was about to happen. Yeah, alright, details. So should have attacked. I should have attacked first. Because if they blocked, I just don't play this and I keep this alive. Yeah, I think I foobarred the sequence here. And then we ended up losing the Lurrus, so probably dead here. Yeah, believe it or not, games of Magic are harder to win when you're bad at Magic. They get harder when you make mistakes. I don't believe you. Yep. So, I'm actually going to fight as one here, which means my second 10th District Legionnaire dies. The reason for using this as opposed to God's Willing is the way I win this game is by punching through their board with protection. So I need to keep my God's Willing because it eventually could let me punch through and kill them. That's funny, Bob. Yeah, alright, let's go to the next game. I mishandled my early turns in this game by a lot. I think based on how that played out, I'm actually wrong. Well, to be in my defense, I didn't really know what deck they were playing in game 1. So I'm gonna leave. Definitely want God's Willing in this matchup. I think I'm happy with the rest of it. I think we mulligan this. Not only does it not have untapped lands in it, but it doesn't have any of our threats that grow, which are pretty key here. And this one we got a mulligan because of mana, unfortunately. Only giving it pro green's not helpful, Zach. Because that threat doesn't grow. Being able to make a threat that gets bigger unblockable is a big part of how we win. I conceded because I did not have a way to win that game anymore, Blue Fire. Protection spells, the best draw on the deck here. You get Maelstrom Pulsar trophied and be sad. At least with it being trophy, I get to go land Lurrus Dorat. Now, I think Vanguard's better than random protection from black here. So you want to be able to attack into some of their board states. They don't always have field active, and sometimes you can force them to make bad blocks. Probably dead here. That's unfortunate. Like, messed up the second game. Not a whole lot we can do this third game. Opponent's answers just lined up really well into what we have going on, and we flooded out. Need to draw like a Staggering Insight ASAP to have a chance to get back in here. Stormtamer to protect Lurrus is an interesting thought. Yeah, that's probably a better line. That's probably a better line. Yeah, I think you're right. They ended up having. Well, I guess they didn't even have double removal, right? Because they just had trophy. Yeah, that's probably a lot better, actually. Probably mess this one up too. It does not. Strider Stone, one donation to. I just don't have enough tracking mechanisms in place to check what donations came from where, and I'm doing all of this manually. So unless it's one large donation, I don't usually give an extra bonus on top. Yeah. So yeah, and I appreciate. I didn't even think about the line of bringing back the Siren Stormtamer, and thinking about it, I think you're right. That was much better. So even though I flooded in that third game, if we had Stormtamered instead of Perfect Pet, we would have had Lurrus in play with protection, and then that would have given us a chance to have Lurrus overcome the amount of the flood that we had, because it would have been able to sit there and generate card advantage. Nah, I think because I had so little resources, Kuritinshi, my line was just wrong. Even if, like, I can't know my next two lines are going to draw. Lands are just as dominant in Historic as they are in Standard. I'm so fucking sick of idiots talking about companions. Like, it's so unreasonable. And, like, people like Saffron Olive getting on their megaphone and complaining about a new type of card because they hate change. Listen, chat. Companions are another type of card, and saying companion decks is such reductionist, idiotic, base level thinking that lacks any type of nuance or critical thinking. It's just completely unreasonable. This idea that they're companion decks and you need to lump all the companion decks together, like it's all the companion decks are the same so things aren't diverse, they're not interesting. It's so incredibly stupid and unreasonable and reductionist. Even people playing the same companion, they aren't all the same. The idea that, like, Lurrus Burn and Lurrus Jund should be grouped together is so unfathomably idiotic, it's unreasonable. Like, I get it. Like, it's really simple to just say, okay, key card, all of them are the same. But, like, yeah, I don't know. It's as stupid as lumping saying these decks all play lands, or these decks all play white lands, or these decks all play black lands. Like, the range on what these companions do and the play patterns they generate is so large, even within the individual decks that play the same companions a lot of the time. Like, take the Kira companion, for instance, right? Like, that 3/2 gets played as a companion in creatureless control decks, just like it gets played, and it gets played in different tribal decks. And saying, like, the blue-white control creatureless control deck is the same play patterns as the tribal deck that the thing supports is just such nonsense. Yeah, companions are a mistake is the new planeswalkers were a mistake. I hate the London mulligan. It's all that same vein of it's easier to lump it all up and write it all off rather than talk about them. I think just like with every type of Magic card, there's a chance some of the details on some of the companions aren't quite right. I think there's definitely a chance that, like, maybe Lurrus is too strong in formats like Legacy that are all about Delver and brainstorming, right? Maybe. I don't even know if that's true. It's probably gonna get banned there. But, like, the idea that, like, the mechanic as a whole needs to be written off because of the metrics on a couple of cards being too good is just reductionist at best and completely brain dead idiotic at worst. I'm really sick of it. Someone asked me about Goldfish's video. I should create a chat command for my post on Goldfish's video. I made a thread about it because people kept asking me. There's my thoughts on Goldfish's companion video. All right, what are we doing? This deck. I'm pretty happy with our deck. I know we only went 2-2 in the event, but again, I'd always encourage you to take a step back and disconnect from what your actual match record is with the deck and think critically about what happened in your matches and what went on. And I think that last match that we played is a good example of doing that, right? Like, I definitely made mistakes in both of those games in that last set that ended up having us, like, the difference between, like, going 2-2 and going 4-1 or 5-0 is often, like, one or two key decisions in certain games. I think this deck is a very reasonable, proactive game plan. I think you have good tools to fight most things in the format, and if you're looking for a sweet tempo deck to play in Historic, I think this is a great choice. All right, what are we doing? We've got plenty more Historic coming up yet today. We're going to roll on into some Grixis control here up next. Up on screen. So this was a build around submission for Grixis control here in Historic. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.